Ken, you want to start?
Sure. Tyhier, Ken Kraetzer, CaMMVets Media. Got to be a frustrating day for you. There were misplays in the first half, but you came back so strong in the second half. What did it take to get the 2 touchdowns in the second half?
Just trusting what we do. We obviously we started off slow. We weren't playing our brand of football, but the guys in the locker room came out at the halftime, sense of urgency. We started running the ball effectively, having our type of Army football drives, and it starts with the old linemen. As I always say, it starts with the slot backs and receivers making great blocks, but just sustaining drives, that was the biggest thing.
And just after Lowen gets the fumble recovery for you, gets you the ball back, you go down to the 6-yard line, you got a 1st and 10, 1st and goal, and you get close, and then you get stopped twice on the 1-yard line. Take us through that drive and what happened?
At that point, I wasn't in the game, so I was getting worked on. I actually saw the last play with Jacoby, so I can't really elaborate on the last part of that drive.
And just the effort of Jacoby Buchanan, we know he was hurt, and he was able to come in and add to the offense today.
Jacoby, he's tough. He had an injury. Fought through it, ran the ball hard, ran the ball effectively. That one run is not going to define who he is. He's still fourth and Kobe. He still runs hard. He's still a great B-back, one of the best that's ever came here. So that one run is not going to define him, and this game is not going to define our season.
Thank you.
Sal?
Seth Mendelson, Black Knight Nation. You got hurt. What happened?
I just got rolled up on, but got taped up, went back out the following drive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I saw a different team in the third quarter than I did the first half. What happened at halftime? Any adjustments?
No adjustments. We came out, ran our base plays. We just eliminated the mistakes. If you notice in the first half, we were moving the ball. Both quarterbacks, me and Kay, had good drives, just ended turnovers. We got stopped. We were running the ball and we eliminated our mistakes. We were a pretty effective team running the ball. But there was not one point in the locker room that we felt like we were going to lose the game. We came out with a sense of urgency and we tried to eliminate our own mistakes.
The fake punt at the end, I know you weren't in the game, but was that called by the coaches or was that called by the players?
I mean, like I said, I'm not sure. I don't really know how special teams it ran. I don't know if it was a look by the punter or a look by someone on the field or Coach Munkin. I'm not sure, so that's just something you got to ask Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Staff Sergeant Johnson, 1st Infantry Division, Public Affairs. I just wanted to ask you what it means to you. Every week is a different division. This one happens to be the 1st Infantry Division. And you think about when you graduate, as you commission as a 2nd lieutenant, somebody on this team may be at Riley. Tell me what it means to you to represent the 1st ID today.
So, like you hit on it, every week we represent a unit. I emphasize to the guys that what we do is bigger than football. We're representing millions of people, millions of men, millions of women. So, we always try to represent in the right way. Even though we didn't come out with the victory, we hope that our grit and how hard we play is something that you at 1st ID is proud of. We have a lot of great leaders on this team. And, like you said, some of us will end up at Fort Riley. So, you're going to get some tough, gritty 2nd lieutenants coming into you. But it does mean a lot. Any unit we represent, it means a lot. And we thank you for your service.
Thank you. Connor, let's go to Zoom. Just do 2 each.
Okay, Joe, you can start.
Hey, Tyhier, Joe Icono with GoBlackKnights.com. Could you walk me through what happened with the exchange with Tyson in the first half when there was the fumble?
We got to go back and watch on film. It wasn't a read play. It was a simple play. I was carrying out my fade, didn't even know he fumbled. We just got to go back and look at it, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't really elaborate on that. I'm not really sure what happened.
Okay, that makes sense. And just my final question, like you said, I feel like the offense was moving the ball pretty effectively today, just couldn't finish drives. What can you guys do in practice to work on to just make sure you get the ball in the end zone?
Not just take care of the ball. When we took care of the ball, we were able to drive, minus the play on the one. And then I know my second drive, we had a 3 and out, just ball got batted down, had a penalty, just bad circumstances. It's always good to end a drive and a kick, whether it's a field goal or a punt. But the other drives, we were just sustaining. We just got to take care of the ball. We got the plays, we got the players. We just got to take care of the ball.
Thanks.
Ken?
Tyhier, Ken McMillan from The Record.
How you doing, sir?
Good, thank you. Tyhier, obviously you guys down 17-0, but came back strong, 2 touchdowns. You scored on the power play on the left side. Can you tell us about that play, and what did you think about momentum at that point?
So that play, I know, like we run it often. I know y'all watch the games, just the QB lead. Great blocking, great movement. I can't really elaborate on the play. It's just great blocking by everybody. I did my best to fit it as well as I could, and we finished in the end zone. But as far as momentum, like I said, you can feel momentum swings, but the biggest thing is everybody feeling like, they have a chance to win this game. There was not a second that someone on the sideline or in the locker room felt like we were going to lose, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Tim, then obviously you lose, you go to 1-3. Just tell us about where does this team stand right now? How difficult is this?
We're a 1-3 football team. That's what the country sees us as. That's what college football sees us as, and that's on us to turn it around. So we got work to do, but right now can't really elaborate. We're a 1-3 football team, and that's what people see.
Thanks, T.
That's it for Tyhier. Next up will be Leo Lowen. You can start, Ken.
Leo, maybe just your overall assessment of the game. Georgia State really had a strong first half, but your defense really came back in the second half, and especially your fumble recovery after the second touchdown. Just say, what's your overall assessment of the game?
Like always, we played hard. It's a tough loss for sure. It's one of those things that we get a couple things to go our way. We play a little bit better and we come out on top. We always play hard. We never quit, and we just got to execute a little bit better, get the win.
And just tell us about when you did get the fumble recovery after you get the 2 touchdowns, and it's a 17-14 game. Tell us about the play and the momentum your team had at that point.
It was just a phenomenal play by Quell, really, to get that ball out on a big run. It would have been like a 40-yard run, 40-yard run. And just to make a play like that was absolutely incredible. I was just around the ball, happened to land on it. I didn't really do nothing special. Just gotta do our best when they punch, we gotta punch back. And Quell did a great job of that.
It was just like in the first quarter when you stopped the Georgia State drive and they forced them into a field goal. That was a big defensive effort. What happened? What did you do on that series to stop the drive?
Coach Woody, just a great play call, really. And like always, we don't quit. We get our backs down in the end zone, back against the wall. We gotta keep fighting, and that's what we did on that drive.
Thank you.
Sal or Seth? PAO? Okay. Connor on Zoom.
Okay, Joe, you can start.
Hey, Leo, Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com. You made a lot of tackles today. Can you talk a little bit about some of your one-on-one battles and how you were able to win those and seemed like you were all over the field, even made some really good plays on the perimeter against a really speedy quarterback?
Just trying my best to do the best I can within the scheme of the defense. Obviously, once you secure your job on the play, then you got to go run the ball and try to do the best you can to get it down. So I was just trying to do that as best I could.
And then my final question is just, it looked like Georgia State had a lot of success running the ball up the middle today with their running backs who are all pretty speedy and shifty. What can you guys work on to try and improve, the run defense, especially up the middle where it seems like Army's been kind of getting gashed a little bit?
Yeah, I think just kind of getting off blocks a little bit, playing those gaps a little better, knowing our responsibility, and just making sure we don't come out of gaps too soon. Working on exchanges for the linebackers. There's a lot of things we can do. Just a lot of room for improvement.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ken?
Leo, Ken McMillan from the Record. Something that it looked like Army was having trouble with, you can tell us otherwise, the tempo game that Georgia State was throwing at you, very similar to Coastal and San Antonio. Is Army defense having difficulty with teams that have such a fast tempo?
I wouldn't say that. I think it's, you know, the weather wasn't too bad, fortunately, and, you know, it wasn't too hot out there. No one was really cramping like that. But I think it's just getting lined up. We gotta get lined up and know a responsibility right away. You know, that can make it difficult on any defense. And, you know, that's something definitely we gotta work on going forward, because, you know, teams see that and teams will keep repeating to do that to us.
Mm-hmm. For as good as it felt to beat Villanova and end that streak, what's it like to be 1-3 right now, facing a tough opponent next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to look down the road. But the bottom line is we're not going to quit. We got to keep fighting every single game, no matter who the opponent is, no matter who we're playing, and no matter who we're playing the next week. We got to keep fighting. Because at the end of the day, it's the legacy of this team on the line every game.
But you feel like you can recover quickly?
I do.
Thank you.
You guys good in the room? That's it for Leo. Thank you. Next up will be Connor Bishop. Go ahead, Connor.
Connor, frustrating loss. Your team ran for 354 yards today, but you had a strong third quarter, but just got stopped 4 times on 4th down. What was your assessment of the day?
You know, as an offense, as an offensive line, we have sprouts where we look good, where we're moving the ball, and then we have drive-killing mistakes, our fundamentals, assignments, not getting enough push on the 1-yard line, and that's what killed us today.
And you got it to 17-14. You get it down to the 6-yard line, 1st and goal, and then it became a tough fight. Tell us about that series.
Yeah, I mean, as an offensive line, especially, we pride ourselves on, you know, taking control of the game in those situations. And I don't know exactly what happened on that play. I'll have to look at the film to figure it out, but it's disappointing we weren't able to score in that situation.
And just in noticing your blocking, it seemed like you had players out leading on the sweeps, getting out in front of the quarterback on the runs either side. How did you feel like your offensive line did on those?
I mean, the same thing. We're inconsistent. We have some really good plays, and then we have times where, you know, we don't. I mean, so it's trying to figure out, is our identity going to be the good plays, or is it going to be the bad plays, or is it going to be somewhere in between? And that's for us to figure out this week.
Thank you.
Hey Connor, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. I know in the past this could be like a 24-hour rule. How much do you think about this one before you move on to Wake Forest? Is it just, do you guys get over it quickly, or is this the one that you'll think about for a little bit on how you were close but just it didn't work out for you?
You know, I mean, there's a balance there. You've always got to be able to put it behind you and focus on the next play, but, you know, it's also a good source of motivation when you look at us at this point in the season being 1-3. So that's how I use that.
Is this where you saw the team? It's probably not where you saw the team be. What's the message to the team that you can give to going into Wake Forest as the captain?
We need to be better. We need to have a sense of urgency. Every single time we come out and practice, it needs to be, you know, not only just great effort, but we need to accomplish things. And Coach Monken talks about that a lot, not confusing accomplishment with just effort or hard work. And we can't do that. We need to come out and actually get better as a football team and get better at executing at the little things and, you know, our assignments and our fundamentals, and that's what it comes down to. And we've been talking about that since the first game against Coastal Carolina, is we need to get better at the assignments and fundamentals. And I'm sure when I turn on the film and watch it, it'll be the same response.
Did you feel like after a bye week the team was kind of like ready and chomping at the bit to play today?
Yeah, I did. I had a good feeling going into today. We kind of need to look back and see what happened, where our lapses were.
Anything else in the room? Connor, go to Zoom.
Okay, Joe, start.
Hey, Connor, Joe Connor with GoBlackKnights.com. You know, there's been a lot of injuries on the offensive line this year. The downside to that's obvious, but the upside, is some of the younger guys and more players have gotten some more playing time. Noticed Aiden Gaines made a couple nice blocks today, got some significant playing time. Just give me your opinion on how, the O-line's coming along, even though it really, as far as I know, hasn't been the same in any of your 2 games yet this year.
Yeah, we have had injuries this year. We've had guys have to step up, but every year I've been here, that's also been the case. So, a big part of that calculus when you're looking at how's the O-line going to be, where we need to be at, is our depth as well. And it's part of it. That's part of football. That's part of playing triple option offensive line, is those things happen from time to time. And so bringing those guys along is an important thing. And that's something we still need to get better at. It's just continuing to build depth. But as for, we had a couple guys today, Aiden Gaines, Will Jeffcoat, who stepped up and really had their first meaningful snaps. The feeling I got from their performance in the game was good. I obviously need to go back and watch the film, but yeah, that's an ongoing process, is continuing to build depth.
Thank you.
Ken?
Hey, Connor, Ken McMillan from The Record.
How you doing, good?
Good. Connor, you guys kind of bounced back well there in the second half, 17-14, chance to go up. You didn't go up, but you didn't fold either at that point. What's it like to see the game just slip away like that in just the final minutes of this game?
It's frustrating, and credit to Georgia State, they did a great job holding on to that lead in the second half, but it's certainly frustrating, especially when you're in a scenario where you put that on the offensive line, and we weren't able to come out and execute and get the job done. So, and we had more chances after that, and we had a couple of just unfortunate errors across the board that limited us from really, having that chance late in the fourth quarter, but certainly frustrating.
I mean, I know this has been the case with Army football, the way the option game is, what happens with it, but only a couple mistakes, 2 fumbles, a missed completion. I mean, you guys, your room for margin of error is razor thin. What's it like having to play like that?
That's what makes playing the triple option great, is that when it's well executed, it's hard to stop. But along with that comes that small margin of error. And that really just comes with it. It's something that we know can't happen. We can't have turnovers. We can't have missed assignments, foolish penalties. And that's part of the game we play. So when we look back at that, at a failed drive because of a small error, that's stuff that can't happen.
How do you not let this season slip away? I know it's early, but you played on a 19 team that struggled. You played on bowl teams the last 2 years. How do you keep this from snowballing?
Yeah, there's not too many people on the team right now who remember that 19 team, and you can draw motivation from it. But just at this point in time, we have a decision to make, and it's either to fold up the tents and kind of just quit, or to keep going and keep getting better and having that hard look in the mirror and seeing where, as a program, we need to improve down to the individual, where each individual needs to improve. And in terms of us representing the Army and this academy and this nation, I hope we choose the latter.
Do you have another one, Ken?
Thanks, Connor.
Connor, just building on that thought, how do you, as a team captain, leader in the Corps of Cadets, speak to your teammates and lead them in this difficult time?
Yeah, we need to continue to just, like I said, have those hard conversations and look in the mirror and give people that feedback that they need, but also stay positive. And it's those two, being positive, but also saying, look, this is where we need to get better, and that's what we need a lot of right now.
Thank you.
That's it for Connor. Next up will be Coach Monken shortly.